Hey, today I want to talk to you about 5 implements that I think you need to have. Now, obviously, this is dependent upon what you want to do, but if you're homesteading, if you're possibly going to have a little sawmill, or if you're going to be like in the woods doing firewood, clearing brush, this video is for you. I'm not going to put these in any one kind of order until we get to the end of the video, and then I will list them in the order I think you should buy them first. The word attachment generally indicates something that mounts to the front of the loader, and the word implement generally means something that mounts to the 3-point hitch, but as far as this video, we're going to use these words interchangeable. One more tease. At the end of this video, I will tell you the one attachment that I think is the thing that will transform your tractor and make it the most useful tool that you can ever buy. Okay, let's start. So you've bought your tractor. This is your big investment. We're retiring or we're starting a business, and we've spent the money on the actual tractor, and we'll make the assumption that it does come with a loader because 99% of tractors in the 40 horsepower and below tractors now do come with a loader. So let's talk about a mower. Now, there's basically 3 types of mowers. There are sickle mowers, there are flail mowers, and then there are rotary cut mowers, like a bush hog brand rotary cut. That's what I grew up with. That's what I was very familiar with. So when I bought my first tractor, I went with what I was familiar with. I got a rotary cutter. However, over the last 3 or 4 years, I have become very fond of a flail mower, especially flail mowers that have hammers. There are some that have knives, and they do very well, especially the ones that are really heavy duty. I have a Bommalite which has very heavy knives. It's made to do some really intensive mulching. So this particular flail mower comes with these heavy duty steel hardened teeth. You will see other flail mowers with some Y teeth like this, but they're not like these. These are hardened steel, and these teeth are absolutely heavy. This little mower that you see here is a flail mower. It has hammers, and I have really enjoyed the hammers as well. And if you have sharp hammers, it really cuts almost like a finish mower. Any flail mower that has knives will always leave like a little mark, little marks that go through. You can actually see the little lines because some of the blades are a little bit longer in areas than others, so you always have little indentions or little lines that some of the grass is taller and narrower than the others. The reason I'm kind of against rotary cutters are because they're kind of like, having hammers in a glass shop. They just beat the crap out of everything, and they don't really mulch very well, where the flail mowers will actually do a lot of mulching and get the grass into really small clips, or if you go across small branches, it will absolutely make toothpicks out of them, whereas your big rotary cutter mower will just beat the crap out of it and throw it out the back and leave some pretty good sized chunks left over. Before we move on to showing you the next attachment, I just want to really give you a good showing of this flail mower by Bommalite. It's just absolutely terrorizing this brush. It just chops it up to little tiny toothpicks. After just running over it one time, it's pretty impressive. You run it over 2 times, and there's just nothing left. It's a wonderful piece of equipment. I've just not been able to get that kind of result out of any rotary cutter. So the next thing we're going to talk about is forks. Now, forks are very versatile. Not only can you use them to move pallets around, there's also attachments like for example, a man basket that you can be lifted up into to reach high places. But it's just kind of like a universal lifting tool. Every time we build a project, the forks come out. It's one of the most versatile tools that you can get, and it's probably the least expensive attachment that you can buy for a tractor. Again, thinking back through all of our projects, I don't believe there is one attachment that we've used more, or that we've used at every project. The forks are always part of a project.
That should be good. It's enough room. Gizmo, get off monitors, buddy.
This is the new 2515 by TYM, and Tanya's got really good at using this loader controller. This is the first time she ever used this this actual valve system, but she did really well. So let's talk about the tiller. The tiller, again, is another kind of universal or very versatile tool for your tractor. You know, back in the days, right after wheels were invented, you wanted to till your ground, you had to have a plow, a disc, a clod buster. You had to have multiple tools just to get your field prep for use. You had to go over your field many times. And nowadays with a tiller, you get this kind of result just from one attachment, and it's phenomenal. I do understand you can only till as deep as your tiller will allow, but there's techniques you can do by like going over the same area twice to really get some deep tilling. I can't brag enough on a tiller and how versatile it is just to make food plots, gardening, whatever. It's cheaper and takes less time to use a tiller than it does to have the multiple older type manual tools. Now, some of the older type tools still have their place, but the tiller is where it's at. So the next implement we're going to talk about is the rear grader blade. Now, the rear grader blade, you won't see it a lot on our channel, but it is got such use for grading roads, creating ditches, and also for stuff like, you know, plowing snow in the winter. It's a great alternative for plowing snow because you can turn the blade around backwards and push with your tractor backwards, or you can turn the blade off to one side and just kind of throw the snow off, basically like I'm doing the dirt here. You can see here we're building a road, and this little tractor and this little blade built this road, and it's still in use today. It took us a little bit, but you know what? You just keep working at it, and it's very versatile. The next thing I want to talk about is a grapple. Now, we use the grapple a lot on our farm because we are homesteading, we do have a sawmill, and we're always clearing land. But the grapple is it's a lot more than just for clearing land and picking up logs. It is like a set of fingers. You can pick up things and move them around. I had a braking plow, solid steel braking plow, no worries about damaging it, but I just needed to move it from point A to point B. Instead of hooking the 3-point hitch up, I just drive right directly up to the plow, clamp down, pick it up, and set it down where I want to. Now, there are some other things to think about with a grapple. Many first-time tractor purchaser makes the mistake of buying the heaviest grapple they can find. Now, this is definitely a mistake. You want to buy a grapple that is light as possible, that is engineered to withstand your tractor's capabilities. For example, here you see this small grapple. This is about 250 pounds worth of grapple. However, it is engineered to handle this size tractor. And what this means is you don't lose all of your lift capacity on excess weight. So I promise you I would put these items in order that I would purchase them if I was a first-time tractor purchaser today. The first thing I would buy would be pallet forks. The reason behind that is the pallet forks are, again, the key or the theme of this video. They are versatile. You can pick up brush with them. You can pick up pallets with them. You will find yourself using pallet forks to change oils in small engines because you can pick a lawnmower up. It's such a versatile tool for such a low cost. The second item that I would purchase would be a mower, because that is generally one of the primary purposes of a subcompact tractor or compact tractor is to mow. And you can get into very, very expensive mowers all the way down to your entry level. I prefer that you would go ahead and buy a good solid flail mower in the beginning, and you won't be sorry. The third thing I would purchase based upon my homesteading adventure is a tiller. If you're going to do homesteading, you're going to need a tiller to do gardening. Now, there are cheaper things on Craigslist, like you can find plows and disc and all those things. However, you're going to have all these pieces around, and once you add up the price, you can purchase a really nice tiller, and it'll do almost every job, and in most cases, it'll do it better. The fourth thing I would purchase would be a grader blade. Again, this is one of those versatile tools. You can push snow, you can build roads, you can dig ditches, you can level ground, you can move material back and forth. And again, this one is a very reasonable cost. The fifth thing I would purchase would be the grapple. And the reason I say it's the fifth on the list is primarily because of cost. Your grapple and your third function are going to be a big expense, but this also brings me to the item that I will tell you that will transform your tractor into it's next level. After purchasing my first grapple, this is when I realized that it's next level. It changes everything. You don't pick up anything. If you have a 2x4 on the ground at a building site and you need to move it from point A to point B and you're already on the tractor, you don't get off. You just pick the 2x4 up and move it with the tractor. So you're constantly being productive. Again, it's a very expensive piece, but once you have it, it will transform your tractor into such a useful tool. This is my list, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear if you think my list is wrong. And if you do think it's wrong, leave a comment and tell me why and what you would swap out. God bless you and have a great day.